Hey, I hope you're having a lovely day today. So we're going to be going over horizontal figure eights and a couple of components that you want to keep in mind as you're doing these movements. And the ones that we're doing in particular are the forward figure eights. So when we think about our forward figure eights, what we want to think about are the components that make up the movement. So as I'm doing this, I want you to start to see how I make this movement. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more time from the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So when you're doing the horizontal figure eight, you want to be feeling for a couple things. One, you want it to settle in your body. The more tight and rigid you tend to be up here to hold your posture, the more it's going to pull your movement along. So that's one component to think of, right? The other thing that you want to think of is what makes up a horizontal figure eight? How do we do it, right? So if you take a look at what's going on with my hips, and you're going to be doing it too, so if you haven't already join in, right? You'll notice my feet are where they need to be. I'm not like this right now, and I'm also not touching my leg. I'm personally not a fan of that. I think it throws my alignment off, so I like to stand within my hip joint. So it'll line up to about right here if you were to see it from the front, where my hip joints are, yeah? So the movements that make up this particular horizontal figure eight, there's two movements. What are we doing with our weight? We're going side to side, side to side. Yes, right? So we're going side to side, putting our weight on one foot and then transferring it to the other. Then the other movement that we have is the component that actually makes it look like the infinity symbol, right? And that component is the twist. So we're just swiveling our hips front to back, front and back, front and back. So you're only going to twist as you feel okay in your body to do so, because we all have a different range of motion, right? So if you try and over twist, you could be effing up your knees, and we don't want to F up your knees, right? And you also don't want to pull your upper body along. So it's that really nice balance of having your shoulders generally stay to the front as the hips only are swiveling back and forth, right? Yes. So we're just getting a nice feeling. You know when those hairs they just get on you, especially because my hair is so long now, I feel like they're everywhere. Oh my God. Anyway, back to today's lesson. So when you're doing it, you want to feel like it's very settled in and low, right? Into your body, meaning you feel it really grounded into your feet. You feel it in your pelvic floor, that you're just pivoting back and forth, front to back, front to back. I'm not going like this. I'm staying centered with my weight, right? The thing that'll make me change my weight is actually the hip slide, not the twisting. So we're forward, 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 and forward. And you'll feel it all the way down to your feet as well. Yay for feet. So you're gonna feel it, and you may even feel it like it's going like this in your feet. You see how you can, the feet come like inside of one and out of the other, inside of one and out of the other. That may happen too as you're swiveling. You'll feel the pressure change in your feet. You're not gonna actually lift your feet up like this, but you may feel the pressure change in your feet. So something to be aware of, right? We're gonna take a little faster. 1 and 2 and. So as you take it up a notch, make sure that you make it just slightly smaller so your hips can stay controlled, especially in the beginning when you're just learning the movement, and stay in time with the music, right? 1, 2, ba, ba, boom, boom, brak, doom, 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 doom. So we have, I'm like, yay, as we drill, right? So then what we're gonna do now is you're gonna go back to the side to side. 4, 3, 2, and 1 to your right. 1, 2, 3, 4, deek, deek, 5, 6, keep your chest nice and lifted, 7, 8, yes, boom. Now twist in place, 1, 2, 3, 4, remember to breathe, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're gonna put these two movements together and that creates our beautiful figure 8. So if you happen to watch one of my other videos, remember how I talked about the practicing and the components of knowing the components on how to break down the movements you can practice, right? If you haven't seen that video, we wanna make sure that you see that video. So go back and it talks about the components. This is why I'm talking about them right now. So it's a reference back to that video. What, right? So we have side to side and twist. We're gonna start with our twist and you're gonna twist forward on your right side first, 5, 6, 7, and twist. Slide, twist, and slide, twist, slide, twist, and slide. So we're twisting and we're sliding in a slightly different position than where we were, but we're doing essentially the same thing. You just feel the pressure change differently in your feet. Yeah? Boom, twist, slide, twist, slide, twist, slide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 more, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now faster. Twist, slide, twist, slide, twist, slide, twist, slide, twist. What's happening? What did we do? Horizontal figure 8. Yes, we did. With twisting and the hip sliding. Yaw, 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 yaw. Right? So that's all it is. That's all a horizontal figure 8 is. As you get more advanced in your horizontal figure 8 though, you'll be able to really get clear on how you want to alter your horizontal figure 8. I want to point out something to you right now as we continue doing this movement. Right now, my knees are not bending, right? I'm not going like this because then I feel like I'm gonna start Latin dancing, like salsa dancing or doing some other form of dance, because what's happening, my hips are coming up, 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 because my knees are bending, right? And I'm not aware of it. So right now, I want you to keep your knees straight, right? Your legs straight, and just keep with it for right now. 1, 2, and only go as big, your movement, size-wise, only go as big as you can keep it controlled. Don't try and stretch out so that you start to lean, because this starts to happen because we think that bigger is better. Not typically the case. So right here, we want clean and distinct, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flip, 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 la. Good, you see how I'm not trying to crazy go out my frame, because then I could be overstretching, and then what happens? My shoulders will dip, my torso will kind of fall to the side. So I'm only going as far as I can keep my posture upright. Good. Keep your knees not locked, but just straight, right? So they're soft. And I like to tap with my toes. You know why? Anybody want to guess? Oh yeah, you got it right. That's right. Because I want my weight change, or my weight over my arch and my heel for this right now. So if I'm able to tap my toes, which actually takes quite a bit of coordination, I realize, to do, I'm like, tap, tap and talk, tap and talk, tap and talk, right? When you're wanting to keep your weight over your arch and your heel, a lot of the times you're able to lift your toes because the pressure isn't pushed to the forward of your foot, to the front of your foot on the ball, right? So you're not here. It is harder for me to lift because I feel like my stability is going. So I want to keep myself stacked with the back of my head over my posterior chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just settling in and allowing this to happen. I'm not overly isolating my torso or anything like that. I'm just keeping it real calm. And breathe. And smile. And breathe. Yes, you. And smile. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, boom. And you're just going to keep practicing this over and over, and eventually you'll be able to switch directions with your hip. Meaning you're going to start changing your fronts, because all I'm doing is I'm keeping my hip going as I'm doing this movement. So if you're just totally starting out, don't do this yet. It's just going to throw your shit off. Oops, did I say shit? I did. So it'll just throw your shit off, right? Don't worry about it. I'm just saying there's somewhere you could go with this movement. Keep it here for yourself. Settle in. Make sure this technique is really nice and clean and comfortable in your body, because you've drilled it enough to make it muscle memory and feeling natural. Natural in your movement. Howdy ha. Yes. And then you want to practice with arms, beginning or not. Practice with your arms in its position of which you would like to be dancing in. I always tell my students, well, not always, but I repeat it quite frequently, practice makes permanent, right? Practice doesn't make perfect. Psh, F perfect. We ain't going for perfect. Because that would be a very unsatisfactory journey, right? So what we're going for is permanent. What do we really want to build up in our body so it becomes our default, right? And yes, I'm talking a lot as we're doing this movement because eventually I want you to get there, right? When you're doing your movements, your horizontal figure eight or whatever movement you're doing, is that I don't have to think about it anymore because I've drilled it to become second nature for myself. And now we can have a full-fledged conversation about belly dance, right? So that's where I want you to lead up to. So be okay with the simplicity of this beautiful movement because it doesn't have to be more complex to be amazing. 1, 2, 8 more, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes! Great work on doing your horizontal figure eight. So make sure you check out the components video because that will help you see why I broke down what I broke down today, as well as just replay this video over and over for yourself, right? And if you have a fellow friend who would love to also learn the horizontal figure eight, send them the video, right? It's more fun to do it with a friend. All right, I hope this was helpful with horizontal figure eights and how you can just gradually get up to this level of comfortability and just allowing that movement to settle in for yourself. Great dancing today.